that you can have a lot of money, but if you don't have the respect, if you don't have the admiration, you don't have the backbone to stand up on your own and be counted, and money can't do that, then everything's pretty worthless. I mean,
he's the youngest of 4 children. But instead of just basking in the affection of his family, Vinod Sekhar was always driven by the will to excel and succeed. So much so that at just 37 years old, he is ranked Malaysia's 16th richest man. The president and group chief executive of the Petra Group and chairman of the Petra Trust and Foundation, which includes a trading company, a property group, and the original shirt company he started when he was 19, with a combined annual turnover of $100 million. Though he came from modest beginnings, Vinod learnt early in life the value that's attached to the right social status and the power that comes with it. His father, the Tan Sri Dr. B.C. Sekhar, was the first Asian director of the Rubber Research Institute of Malaysia.
The government gave him the official residence, the official car, that sort of thing. So he was never financially, well off. But while he was a senior civil servant, we had all the bells and whistles. And I suppose as I grew up, I liked those bells and whistles. So I decided I had to do pretty well and succeed to ensure that I could try and get at least somewhere close to that. If I hadn't got a scholarship, I couldn't have gone to university.
While still in university, Vinod started his foray into business.
I had a friend whose father had a textile factory in India. So I collected these crests from the different universities around, and I had $50. I gave $50 and made 10 samples of different shirts, all with the college crest, just the crest on the pocket. After going to several college bookstores, one finally took it up. It was followed by another and followed by another, and it just took off. And before I knew it, it became quite an interesting business. Its peak, I think we were in the region of at least about 200,000 shirts per annum.
This flair for business earned Vinod his first million by the age of 21. With his money and Midas touch, Vinod formed the STI Group to spearhead Farrier's technology innovations. His best friend, Tunku Tan Sri Imran Ibn Tuanku Jafar, was his partner.
I had this ability to look at technology and see where it could be applied. So I just went in there. One is industrial technologies. So under elastomers, we have we have about 8 patents, not related to recycling, but within the rubber industry. Well, we're basically bio and industrial technologies. That's our main core. We have peripheral investments that interlink somehow. We have a company that does HIV research called Scalar Technologies, but always innovative technologies. As I mentioned to you once, we look outside the box. We look for things that people don't do. We look for solutions that people sometimes don't know the question.
Vinod's various successes were more than personal milestones. They marked Malaysia's growth in technological expertise. One of the youngest to be bestowed with such an honour, Vinod has to be a dynamo at work.
It's not just getting people, we also have to get the training module done. Okay?
He's very motivated, hardworking, unique.
He has a sense of humour, which makes it much easier to work with.
But once it comes to meetings, he's quite serious. That's where the business really starts. And even in terms of reports and things being done, if they're not done in time or properly, then he does explode.
I think Vinod presently is almost bigger than life, because he's like a whirlwind,
However, this strong and fearless demeanour was tested during the Asian economic crisis in 1997.
I told everyone, I called it the God syndrome. You think you're untouchable. Everyone's calling me the whiz kid. So we went to fruit and vegetable farms. I mean, lots of areas that we had no business going into. So when the financial crisis hit, we had too much US dollar debt that we had taken in ringgit. So every day, our debt was growing larger, despite the fact that we didn't do anything. Pretty much everything we nearly wiped out. Hundreds of millions. Gone. In less than 1 year.
But he has a core of steel. It gave him the strength to stand up to any challenge or crisis.
The dark side is very dark. You learn your lessons, You go through a hard time, but you use it as a lesson, I had no doubts I was going to come back. I'll do it better now. Because I did it once without any knowledge. Now I've got all this experience. I'll do it again.
His determination pulled him back from the edge of the crisis. And he strategized. Vinod consolidated everything he had to make a comeback.
We had overseas assets, right? We had investments in AOL, we had investments in stocks, a lot of stuff, properties. So we put that all in an offshore company. And that offshore company was called Petra Investments Limited. It was just a separate entity, offshore entity, that we used for offshore investments. It was only when everything started collapsing here we decided to bring it into the light. So I decided that the recycling company, I believed in it, and I knew it would work. So I bought it from everyone, all the existing shareholders. I paid off all its debt, cleaned it up, and we just continued the R&D and continued to go for the patents.
This has become one of his most ambitious projects. Vinod has invested over $28 million in this technology and its production center focusing on the world's only true rubber recycling process called D-Link and other elastomer technologies. The production center opened in October 2006.
This whole production center, including the research center, is about 48,000 square feet. And the entire facility is about 80,000 square feet. This will be the R&D center that does all the R&D, not just for dealing, not just for green rubber, but also for all other emerging rubber-based technologies. There is a need to help our customers test their product. So it's not enough for us just to develop or produce our own chemical compound, making the compound that is taking either tire crumb or glove scrap and recycling into compound, which we call green rubber, which is recycled compound. And then, selling the green rubber to product manufacturers, like you saw outside, whether it's motorcycle tires or swim fins, bath mats, automotive products, components, things like that. At the end of the day, I think we hope this place will produce about 5,000 tons of chemical compound a year. Now, to give you an idea, that won't be enough. 5,000 tons hits about 3% of the market, of the global market. All right, so it's going to be interesting to see how we deal with the growth.
Money is a tool. To me, that's what it is. It's a tool. It's like a chair. You use a chair to sit on. It has to have a function. So it's worth nothing just to accumulate it. And it's what you do with it. Okay. Now, part of it has to go into reinvesting, into doing stuff. Building businesses, you're never going to spend enough time with your family.
This work-driven man leads the jet-set life, shuttling in and out of Malaysia to seal deals. Though hard-pressed to find time with his family, he manages it somehow.
So I've had to do certain things to make sure that I'm with my family. That means if I'm going away, when I come back, I make sure I have a block of time that I spend only with the kids, my wife. But what we've done recently is that, you know, we try go away on holiday a lot together, just together, there's 4 of us, and it's fun.
What do I love most about my dad? Because that he's so happy all the time, and you know, he hugs us all the time, and he's really loving and stuff like that.
My job is to spoil them. My wife's job is to discipline them.
I want to bring up the children without so many, I suppose, gifts and luxury items and whatnot. I want them to have a normal childhood.
Winnie Sekhar, Vinod's wife, is just as busy as he is, juggling the role of mother and her group as head of special projects in the Petra group.
She goes and takes on specific areas within our group that needs to be handled, and she handles it. So there's more. There is, I have more face time with her, if you like, at the professional level. And let's put it this way, she doesn't keep her opinions to herself, ever. And so even when we're home, if she has issues, it comes out, and it's debated vigorously until I tell her I'm tired. Can we stop talking about work now? And that's when my daughter comes in and says, Mummy, Daddy's right. Leave him alone.
So, you know, he did a clever thing by putting me at the back of the office, which is the admin side. So our paths don't cross so much. I, on the other hand, have difficulty in terms of where the line is, you know. I'm an employee and not his wife, so I do overstep that boundary sometimes.
Whatever their differences at work, home is their haven. In 2006, the family moved into this luxurious sanctuary. Petra Tara, named after Vinod's 2 daughters. It didn't come cheap, at 12 million Malaysian ringgit, but well worth the 17,000 square feet retreat from the hustle and bustle of Kuala Lumpur.
That is my house under renovation. One of the spectacular things about staying here is at night you can have a view of the valley. On a clear day you see Genting Highlands. What we're going down to is what I call the boys' room. It's where I intend to have my poker area, my snooker area, my big TV, my bar, my study desk. This was going to be one of the guest rooms. As I said, we've not renovated yet. Now, this is going to be the family sitting room. Right now, you know, because we're just in the middle of renovation, the room the kids want to jump around in and just play and relax. And all this is being renovated because my wife wants to figure out how to keep all my DVDs. And just to give you an idea, that's one lot. There's one lot there. There's another lot there. So as you can see, you have every single Star Trek you can imagine. Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Next Generation. You name it, we have it.
Vinod developed a penchant for ties with cartoon designs, just to make a point to the stuffed shirts in the business world.
These ties, basically when I was younger, I can't remember how old I was, 21 or something, and my first major meeting with the bank, a friend of mine had given me a tie as a present, a Mickey Mouse tie, and I wore it. I mean, there was no special reason, it was just a nice tie, so I just wore it. And when I went to this meeting, the person that organized it, the consultant, pulled me aside and was very upset that I'd worn this tie. How could I wear this tie? You know, how could people take me seriously if I wore such a tie? And I was very upset. I was very insulted that someone would, you know, put a tie that I was wearing to decide what I was about. And I made a promise to myself that from that day, that's all. It's the only tie I would wear. The only kind of tie I'd ever wear. And I've pretty much only done that. Well, that's the house. In broken pieces here and there. So that's pretty much all of it. I've got to go for a lunch. I'll see you later. Walk around a bit more if you'd like.
While his taste for flashy ties may be unusual, when it comes to fast cars, he's one of the boys, both in Malaysia and his adopted home, the United Kingdom.
But I enjoy driving because it relaxes me and it gives me time to think. So whenever I can, I drive. And whenever I can, I'm with the family, we try to just drive together. I tend to drive my 6 Series a lot when I'm on my own. My bodyguards, they tend to follow, but I tend to lose them. So it's a cat and mouse game, really. It's quite fun. I buy a lot of collectibles, which I keep in the UK, and things like 1968 Ferrari Dino, an E-Type Jag, the classics. They don't make cars like that anymore. The style, now it's all aerodynamics and all that, and power. But in those days, they made really beautiful cars. My greatest fear would be to lose my passion. To wake up one day and just sort of not have the drive to go forward. I've been writing since I was a kid, since I was 11 or 10. Just random thoughts, it's just, poetry, one-liners, what I felt at the time. 3 proper plays. One has gone through many productions. One has been done as a monologue I wrote. It was done in London once. I don't know if I'm any good, but I love it.
This man with the Midas touch at business is also a wizard with words, weaving spells with poetry and plays at home and abroad. Though he's modest about his talent, it spawned Petra Sports and Entertainment Sendirian Berhad. True to type, Vinod plans to make it Malaysia's leading company in organising, promoting, managing and developing world-class sports and entertainment events.
Alvin Alley is, as far as modern dance is concerned, is iconic in stature. So we felt, well, why not start with Alvin Alley?
Vinod has not forgotten his early lesson in the influence one can wield with status and wealth. He uses it to a worthwhile end, to shape the future by helping underprivileged children. In the late 1980s, Vinod set up the Sitavani Foundation to promote education and child development programs.
I think this year, they were telling me, this year we're committed up to about 2.5 million in terms of the programs that we're part of. And all the scholarships we've got to pay for. We want a specific program to support. If it's charity, we want to know what they can use the money for. It must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Because we want to see where it goes and we want to see the result.
Even in charitable work, Vinod is unstinting. In 1991, for his contribution towards the globalization of education and the education of children, Vinod was made the first and youngest Asian Fellow of Kappa Delta Pi, a US-based international honor society for education.
If you have it, and you're not doing anything with it, and you've got brains, and therefore you can come out with ways of improving other people's lives, why wouldn't you? And I had decided I enjoyed the feeling, making people feel better, seeing little children smile and laugh and know that I'm responsible. Having a group of 50 kids run up to you and hug you and, thank you just because you did something, which really had zero effect on your lifestyle. And let's be honest, everything I gave had no material effect on my lifestyle.
He wears so many hats. Entrepreneur, philanthropist, humanitarian, playwright, the list could go on. And so does Vinod.
I don't have a barometer. There's no ceiling I'm trying to reach. There's no rooftop I'm trying to jump to. I'm just enjoying the experiences I'm having. And I just want to keep experiencing. I just want to keep doing. I want to keep developing. I want to keep creating. The bottom line is, I don't look at retiring or anything like that. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I love it. I just, maybe what I can see is I'm doing less of the business side, leaving that to the executives, and doing more on the charitable side maybe, or more on the development side, creating things, which will certainly allow me more time with the family.
For however far he ventures, however high he aims, family is his anchor.
I have 3 people in my life that keep me grounded, very grounded. It's my mom, my dad, and Winnie, my wife. They're my backbone. I mean, they're what it's all about.
And for those who aspire to the same dizzying heights, Vinod's words of advice.
What should those that want to be million makers do? Just decide that they're going to do it. Know that they're going to fall, but also know that they have it with them to get up and keep going. As long as they decide they're going to do that, there is no question to make it.